So this is my perceptions in culture presentation. What is social perception? C. Bates, A.M. 2012 wrote, social perception is a study of how people form impressions of and make inferences about other people as sovereign personalities. People learn about others' feelings and emotions by picking up information they gather from physical appearance, verbal and nonverbal communication. An example of this could be panhandlers on the corner. These people stand on the corner all day long with their signs out looking for a living. Most people feel sorry for them and provide whatever change they can spare. What most people don't think about is that they all have a story. They don't think about this. It's the reason that led up to their current situation. We automatically assume that they are homeless by their appearance, but in some cases they are not. Never judge a book by its cover. What is culture? Culture is the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, and other social group. Culture is what separates one group of people and customs from another. Culture is an identifier of diversity. The perceptions of people vary depending on their culture. What is social cognition and what is web-based social cognition? Bates AM 2012 wrote, social cognition is a process of perceiving others and the cognitive strategies that we use for understanding our broader social world. Web-based social cognition is the same as social cognition, except the perceptions are based on observations from the internet. Social cognition in person is so much more accurate in understanding than web-based social cognition. You can't pick up social cues, body language, eye contact, mannerisms, and fear when speaking on the telephone or browsing Facebook. This is why they're internet trolls. Internet trolls. There is no fight or flight response or accountability on social media, so people do what they want, which often results in hurting people's feelings. The American culture versus the Hispanic culture. Um, the culture that I chose to research is the Hispanic culture. Americans and Hispanics share a border, and yet we share our country as well. We may all live together and share the same area geographically speaking, but there are many things that we don't share. Language is a barrier between the Americans, the American and Hispanic culture. This barrier is usually more of a barrier for the Americans because most Hispanics speak or learn the English language because they have to in order to share the American culture. Americans are lazy and believe that they don't need to learn another language because they are the center of the universe. Ibarra, A 2019 said Americans are motivated from an early age to be independent and to develop their own goals in life. They are not encouraged to depend too much on others, including their friends, teachers, and parents. For Latinos, the family plays a central role. For this reason, they spend much of their time cultivating and strengthening their family ties. The lives of Latinos revolve around their families, their worries, gratifications, and of course, their dreams. Etiquette between the American and Hispanic cultures share similarities. The Americans greet people with an extended arm and a firm handshake. The Hispanics also greet with an extended arm and handshake, but the grip is less firm. It's more soft. Americans have an in my bubble complex and have issues with touching each other. Hispanics still greet people they first meet with a kiss on the cheek, or at least the elders do. American cuisine mainly consists of hamburgers, steak, French fries, pizza, and cold-cut sandwiches, and above all, the condiments. Hispanic cuisine has a deep-rooted holdfast in the world of food. The universal answer for food starts with a tortilla. Almost every Hispanic breaded dish starts with a tortilla. It is the maize-based dishes and the creative uses of sauces that define this artful food. Let's not forget adobada and the pozole, the green pozole. We can't forget the green pozole. It's so good. The American culture was believed to identify as 75% Christian in 2015. I believe that this percentage is less now. I am surrounded by more and more people every day that don't believe that God exists at all. The Hispanic culture was last surveyed at 88% belief in God, the largest percentage being of that of Catholics. I find that surprising and amazing that such a large percentage of all Hispanic culture still believes in Christ. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? John 11:26. The perceptions of humans from culture to culture vary depending on their intelligence, beliefs, and worldviews. I believe that the biggest and best thing that we all share is humanity. I am surprised on how many Americans use the anchoring effect in their beliefs about the Hispanic culture. Many Americans believe that the Hispanics are the enemy and that it makes it okay to build a giant wall across the land. The Hispanic culture is in many ways flawed just like America. This is no reason to sin against fellow man. This is a fine example of the illusion of control. This research on the American and Hispanic cultures has broadened my perspective on how much these two types of humans are different and yet the same. I was surprised about how close the Hispanic culture of family values is. I believe that the large percentage of Catholics in the Hispanic culture is a direct result of the close family values because religion is passed down through people who care. Who cares more than a close family member? Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the disciplined instruction of the Lord. That's Ephesians 6:4. No matter the culture, our closest family member is God. This concludes my perceptions and culture presentation. And here's my reference page. Adios.